So I'm Laura. Today we are welcoming Natalie Phillip. She will talk about Habitat Affordable Homeownership Program. Thank you all for your presence. I hope you enjoyed today's talk. And if you have any questions, write them in the chat box below. And at the end, she will read and respond. Natalie, I would like to ask you, if possible, to speak slowly so that our interpreters can translate your speech to our listener. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank
Let's
you
go.
very much, Laura. And good morning, everyone. As Laura said, my name is Natalie Phillips, and I am delighted to be with you today. I am the Family Selection Coordinator for Habitat for Humanity New Brunswick. My job is to provide awareness about our program, like I'm doing today, and to oversee the application process for families who are looking to partner with us. Today, we will talk about Habitat's affordable homeownership program. We will look at who is eligible, how our mortgage model works, and how our program can benefit our community. So who we are, Habitat for Humanity is a worldwide community that believes everyone deserves a decent place to live. Our mission is to bring communities together to help families build strength, stability, and independence through affordable homeownership. As we know, there is an affordable housing crisis in Canada, and too many people, do not have access to safe and decent housing. So our mortgage model of affordable homeownership fills the gap for working families who are stuck paying high rent but cannot get approved to buy a house through a bank. But how does our program work? Now, with the help of future Habitat homeowners, volunteers, and generous donors, we build decent and affordable homes that help people live better lives. Habitat homeowners pay an affordable mortgage that is geared to their family's income. Habitat holds the mortgage in the same way that a bank would, except we don't need a down payment. And the interest rates are very low. Now, all the mortgage payments from all our Habitat homes are reinvested to help the construction of more Habitat homes. Now, the first step in this whole process is family selection. So finding the right family to partner with Habitat. So who is eligible? Well, future Habitat homeowners are selected based on their need for better housing, their ability to pay an affordable mortgage, and their willingness to partner with Habitat for Humanity. So now let's talk about these criteria in a bit more detail. Number one, the need for better housing. So families might be dealing with a home that is crowded, not healthy, not affordable, or not safe. In some cases, there are not enough bedrooms for everyone. Or families might have family members living with disabilities but they don't have the proper accommodations in their home. Or families might be living in public housing where the conditions are not good. The second criteria is the ability to pay an affordable mortgage. So families must be able to prove that they can afford mortgage payments every month in addition to the regular maintenance of a home. Families will have to pay for home insurance, for heat and hot water. The property taxes, however, will be included in the monthly mortgage payments. So the income eligibility varies for each applicant based on their family size and their circumstances. We look at each application individually to determine if a family's income falls within the range of our program requirements. Mortgage payments are based on no more than 25% of the total household income. But the applicant must be working because we need to make sure that there is consistent, stable income so that we know families can afford their monthly mortgage payments. We do not want a house to be another burden for families. The third thing we look at is a family is willing to partner with Habitat. Families must agree to volunteering 500 hours with Habitat for Humanity. They must also be willing to promote Habitat's efforts to the public. We have a ceremony and a public announcement every time a new family moves into a Habitat home. This helps to bring more awareness to our program. Now, our partnership works both ways. Habitat works closely with families right up until the end of their mortgage term. Something else to note is that in order to buy a home, families must be Canadian citizens or permanent residents. Now, if you think your family could be eligible, here are the steps you need to take to apply for a Habitat home. So step one is our pre-application form. This is a form completed online at our website, habitatnb.ca. It is a short questionnaire to determine if a family meets the basic initial criteria. Once we've determined if an applicant meets the basic criteria, we then email them the full application form. The application will involve a full financial review, so that includes credit checks for anyone over the age of 18. Our family selection committee once our family selection committee has had an opportunity to review the application, we may schedule a home visit. This is to assess the family's living conditions and to interview all family members. We will also contact references such as your current landlord and other personal references. Now, these steps can often take several months, but once our committee members have come to an agreement on what family has been accepted for the next Habitat home, we will contact the family with the good news. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the Habitat mortgage. Habitat for Humanity provides working families who are living with lower income the opportunity to buy a house. These are families that wouldn't be able to get approved for a mortgage from a bank. They make enough money to pay their bills, but do not have enough at the end of the month to save for a down payment. Now, a big part of our mortgage agreement are the 500 volunteer hours. Before signing our mortgage agreement, future homeowners must complete a minimum of half of their volunteer hours, or at least 250 hours. Future homeowners can volunteer in many ways. They help to build their new home. So that could be painting, crack filling, helping with flooring, anything at all. They help to build other Habitat homes. They can volunteer at the Habitat Restore, assist with other Habitat events, or volunteer within their own community. Members of our staff will work with each family to find the best ways to fulfill their volunteer hours that will work with their schedule. And we know that 500 hours sounds like a lot. So in some cases, we will allow family and close friends to help with a family's volunteer hours. Now, in addition to the 500 volunteer hours, here are some of our other mortgage terms. So, as I said, we do not require a down payment. Our mortgages are low interest. They are based on a 20-year term, and your monthly payments are based on no more than 25% of your family's income. And every year, we look at your income, and if we need to, we will adjust the payments. Now, homeowner success. Our goal is to see families thrive and succeed. Habitat works with families throughout the term of their mortgage to ensure success. Habitat Family Services provides homeowner education on topics such as home maintenance and repair, budgeting and finances, living in your community and being a good neighbor, finding the right insurance protection for your home, and many more. And what does success look like? Habitat families are happier and healthier. Children often do better in school. Families can now rely less on social supports. And homeowners invest in and become active members of their larger community. We look back at last year, at 2023. Here are the homes that Habitat for Humanity New Brunswick completed. Here in Fredericton, we completed a duplex that houses 2 families on Devon Avenue. So that's like having 2 houses attached to one another. We also moved a bungalow that was donated by the city over to Chestnut Street. Up in Edmundston, we finished a construction on a bungalow on Rue du Moulin. And in Minto, we finished construction on a bungalow on Logue Road. So a duplex is two homes stuck together, and a bungalow is one home with bedrooms and bathrooms on one floor. Now, our current plans for homes to be ready this year are as follows. We have a bungalow in Moncton on Churchill Street, a duplex here in Fredericton on Albert Street, a duplex in Miramichi on Water Street, and two bungalows in St. John on Watson Street. Now, we hope to have more plans in the works for Fredericton, Moncton, and St. John. So when those plans get finalized, I will be sure to let you know if and when that happens this year. Now, here is a closer look at 590 Albert Street here in Fredericton. It is a two-story duplex with 2 units. So we have 1 unit available. One family has been selected, but we are still accepting applications for the second unit. Each unit offers 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom with a full basement. The basement can potentially allow for 2 more bedrooms and a second bathroom if it's required for a larger family. And we hope to have this home ready by late spring of this year. We have to wait for the snow to be gone and the ground to thaw. Now, located on the north side of Fredericton is our discount renovation center, the Habitat Restore. Our restore is open to the public Monday to Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. We receive new products every day, and we've recently expanded the store to make it bigger. All products are discounted and tax-free, and you will find new or gently used building supplies, appliances, furniture, home decor, and more. And all proceeds of every sale support future Habitat for Humanity home builds. You can also donate to the Restore. Donations and volunteers are always welcome. We also have a Restore in St. John, and we have one in Moncton. Now, I wanted to finish today's presentation with a look at the families we were able to help in 2023. Our most recent family, Rosalind and her son up in the right-hand corner, they actually moved into their home right before Christmas. That was very exciting. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation today. I'm happy to answer any of your questions today, or you can email us if you have any questions at another time.
Thank you, Natalie.
You're very
Thank you for a
welcome.
great presentation. So would anyone like to ask a question? Yes, we have more question here. Can people sell the house if they have to move in the future?
Yes, they can. So you are a homeowner, just like any other homeowner. However, there is, in our mortgage, we have it written that if you wish to sell your house before the term of your mortgage is up, before 20 years, um, Habitat for Humanity, we have the first option to buy the house back from you. And if we decide not to buy the house, then the homeowners can put it up for sale just how any other homeowner would sell their house. But Habitat does have the first right to offer to purchase the house back.
Okay. Do you have to be a permanent resident or Canadian citizen to apply for a house?
Yes, you do. So it's a Canadian rule to be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident before we can consider the application for a home.
Can someone apply if they are receiving income assistance and are unable to work?
So we will look at all situations on an individual basis. And what we are primarily looking for is stable and consistent income. So we understand families can go through difficult times, and some of those difficult times are temporary. Some of them are permanent. For example, if a family member has to go on permanent disability and cannot work, we understand that that's beyond their control. And so we would look at that situation different than we would someone who is working because their income would be a bit different. But we're primarily looking for stable, regular income coming in because we don't want a house to be something they can't afford, something that is too much of a burden. So we work with families to make sure that the payments will work for them, but sometimes there's only so much we can do because we have a house we have to pay for as well.
Mhm. Okay. If no one has any question, hmm, if someone gets a better job, are they able to pay off their mortgage sooner than 20 years?
That's a very good question. Um, I would assume the answer is yes, but I would have to double check that. As a general answer to when someone's income changes, typically what we do, what we do with every family is every year we do a new financial review. So if their income has gone down or if it's gone up, or if other sources of income are starting to come in, then we will adjust the payments accordingly for the next year. So sometimes they might go down a little bit for a little while if we need to adjust them down. Sometimes we'll adjust them up. However, I don't know if there is an option to pay it off sooner. I would think there is, but I can find that answer out and let Laura know.
So for someone who does not speak English as their first language, are they still able to volunteer with Habitat for Humanity New Brunswick?
Absolutely, yes. Actually, we have working at our restore, we have 4 or 5. We had 5. Now we have 4 individuals who came from Ukraine, and their English is getting better, but when they first came to us, there wasn't much English, and we were still able to work with them and to show them how things work in the restore and how to help the customers. So absolutely, and if we have someone who speaks a different language, we have lots of resources, especially with the Multicultural Association, if we need any support in that way. But as I mentioned before, we work with each family one-on-one for their volunteer time. So if it doesn't make sense for them to help in the restore, we'll find other ways to help them to fulfill their volunteer hours.
How to decide the loan interest rate?
That's a good question as well. Right now, our mortgage model is 0 interest. So that makes it easy.
Yeah.
Because we want to build more homes, and homes are getting more expensive to build, we are looking into alternative mortgage models, where a separate lender may hold a portion of the mortgage, a very small portion that Habitat still guarantees. So it's still all under Habitat, but their small portion would have a small interest rate. And we're still working out those details with that other lender. And once we know more about that, we can communicate that with you. But it wouldn't be anything close to what you would see at a bank if you were going to apply for a mortgage at a bank. So it'd be very, very minimal. But I don't know anymore at this point because we're still working on that. But right now, for example, for Albert Street, that mortgage will have 0 interest.
Yeah. So is the interest rate on the loan fixed for the entire term of the loan, or do individuals have the flexibility to choose a variable rate?
We're still working out those details. We have a meeting scheduled for next week. Next week? Yes, next week, where we will figure out a little bit more, but it may still be a few months before we know the specifics of what an interest rate will look like and how the mortgage will work with this other lender as well.
They're asking to repeat the answer of this one here.
Oh,
Can
sure.
someone apply if they are receiving income assistance and are unable to work?
Yes, so they can apply, and we look at each application on an individual basis. And what we are looking for is stable, consistent income so that we know that the family will feel comfortable paying mortgage payments every month. And we know that families can sometimes go through rough patches or may have an accident that puts them off work for a period of time. And ultimately, we just want to make sure that families can afford the home. So we don't want it to be another burden for them. So if you're receiving income assistance or if you're receiving permanent disability benefits, we will look at those case by case and then assess the application in that way.
If someone wants to volunteer with Habitat for Humanity, how or where do they go to do this?
So if anyone is looking to volunteer, whether they are fulfilling volunteer hours for an Habitat mortgage or they just want to volunteer, they can contact us at our office, just at the number on the screen. And we have a community coordinator who would coordinate the volunteer hours. If you're a future homeowner who's working on their 500 volunteer hours, we have a family services manager, and she would coordinate the volunteer work and tracking your hours. But if you just want to come in and help with Habitat anytime, we would love that. You can just give us a call at our office or send us an email, and we can help you set that up for you. So if you're coming in not as a future homeowner, but just someone who wants to volunteer, we and as a future homeowner, it's kind of the same. So we are always looking for volunteers to help with new home builds. And you don't have to have any previous experience. We will have professional tradespeople there helping and letting you know what you're able to help with. For example, before I started with Habitat years ago, I helped to put up drywall. I had no experience putting up drywall in a home or nailing studs in, but I did. And so you help with the home build. If you wanted to come help at the Habitat Restore, we're always looking for people to bring out some of the new products that are coming in, because we're always getting new things coming in every day, cleaning them up, making sure they're working, pricing them, answering questions in the store with customers. And if we have other events going on, maybe passing out flyers or passing out water bottles. And then if you're a future homeowner, there are so many other ways to volunteer. If you have an event with the Multicultural Association, for example, you can help to volunteer with them. So there are lots of ways.
A student has asked if it is a condition that you have a job to apply for a home.
Yes and no. So if you are a full-time student and you're unable to work because you're a full-time student, but you're in school because you want to get a good job, we have to look at the income that you have now. We consider what your income could be once you get a job, but there are so many things that can happen. But primarily, we do work with working families. So somebody who is working and bringing in an income from employment. But that's not to say that if you're a student now, you wouldn't qualify. So you can certainly apply, but keep in mind that we are looking for consistent income so that we know that you would be able to afford your home. If you're a student and you're not bringing in any income and there's no one else bringing in any income, that would be quite a challenge to make monthly payments. So we have to look at each application on a case-by-case basis to see how the family is working and how the income is, to make sure that we're not placing an additional burden on you at the time. And that's not to say that down the road, we wouldn't consider it either.
Do you hire too?
Absolutely, yes. I don't know if we are currently hiring in the Restore, but I can't think of the phone number for some reason, but there is a separate phone number for the Restore, and you would need to call them to find out if they are hiring. I'll look it up while I'm still talking with you, and I can send it to Laura.
Thank you. Are the logged hours counted towards the main applicant or the whole family?
So it's the whole family. So it's 500 hours per family moving into the home. So it's not each adult in the family would have to volunteer 500 hours. It's a collective 500 hours.
And from what age can a family member volunteer? Do you know?
That's a good question. Are you asking as for
Because
hours
you said
counting to?
all the
Yeah. I would have to double check that. I don't know if children helping would necessarily, I think it would have to be anyone over the age of 18, because we look at them as the adults or the applicants and co-applicants. I would think it would have to be anyone over the age of 18 for their hours to count towards the 500 hours. But I can double check that for you, because some teenagers are quite capable.
yeah. Can one adult volunteer 250 hours and the other adult 250 hours within one family?
Oh, yes. Yes. So it would be 500 hours within the whole family. And so if it's a single parent, or there's only one adult who is physically capable to volunteer, we will allow, if they have other family members in the area or close friends who can kind of donate their volunteer time to count towards the family's volunteer hours. So we'll look at that for each family, case by case.
Nice.
Let's make sure that's the right number, 4624881. So I put the Habitat Restore phone number in the chat, And if anyone wants to inquire about volunteering there, or if they're hiring, you can certainly give them a call.
Perfect. All right. So I think we got everything.
Okay.
If you have any further question or need additional information, please don't hesitate to reach out. Um, Again, thank you, Natalie, for your great presentation. It's really nice to know about this project.
It
And
was my pleasure.
so thanks so much. If you have any questions, please send to our email and we can forward to Natalie.
Absolutely. Anytime you can send them questions, you can send them directly to our office, and we're happy to answer them and to help. Thank you very much, everyone, for your attention today.
Thank you, Natalie.